Anahita Sedaghatfar is here. She's a legal analyst and attorney who practices litigation in both state and federal courts. Wow.
Yes.
I mean, you've got this situation where you go back to the Obama administration and treated these as mostly civil violations. Trump is saying there is zero tolerance. This is criminal. Obama tried to fill these family units up and keep them together, but we only had so much room, right?
Right.
And now you have this problem of the parents are being jailed, the kids are being kept in detention centers. The question becomes, you know, who's right? Who's following the law?
Well,
here?
Trump is saying, I'm only enforcing the law that we have on the books, right? Yeah, we've had these laws on the books, but you just said Obama didn't enforce it this way. The Bush administration didn't enforce it this way. They made exceptions to the rule, like families with children. So the question is this the law or is this Trump's interpretation of the law?
Yeah, and one of the big questions, and people have talked about this a lot, is, you know, the smugglers. We've been covering these stories down here for 30 years. The smugglers know exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
These, you know, coyotes and so forth, they tell people what to do. They bring them to the border. They tell them how to fill out the applications. So a lot of that plays into this thing, and we have families that are not families, and that's one of the reasons that kids are being separated, and it happened under Obama as well.
And Trump talked about that yesterday, and I believe again today, and what he's saying is, look, I want the Democrats to come work with us. It's their fault. I'm blaming them for this law. Let's work together on comprehensive immigration reform, and what he means by that, Trace, is funding for the border wall. We know that. And so he's saying, look, let's work together. Let's put an end to this. I don't want to take kids away from their family, but we know that there are strings attached to it. So is this really a political pawn, or is he using these kids as a pawn to get what he wants?
Yeah, and let's face it, the pictures are bad. The pictures are horrific to look at, and the pictures are winning right now. I mean, you look at both sides of this debate, and one side has pictures, and the pictures are winning, and that is really prompting a lot of Republicans to say, okay, let's get some kind of legislation. And you have Mitch McConnell, you have the Senate, and he's going to meet with these people later today. And it's not a legal question. The legal question in all this is the big solution is to get these people in as fast as they can to the asylum courts, the immigration courts, and process them faster. And it's just not going to happen.
How does that happen with thousands of people? We know logistically it's very hard to do this. And we know, look, Trump ran on immigration reform. That was like his platform. I'm going to crack down.
No surprising.
Absolutely. He said, I'm going to crack down on immigration. I want a border wall. We're going to secure our borders. So this is what he wants. And is he going to back down? We'll have to wait and see. I don't see him backing down. It would be sort of a concession that he's weak in the eyes of his base. So we'll have to wait and see what he does here.
And there are thousands, and part of the problem is there are thousands of these people, these family units that are showing up at the border, and there's an increase in smuggling. There's an increase in, you know, parents pleading or saying that they have these kids which are actually not their kids. And there's an increase in asylum seekers, and there are thousands of them. And when you talk about, as Mitch McConnell said, pushing these people to the front of the line in immigration courts, it's still a very long line.
Exactly. How do you do it? Logistically, I think it would be very difficult to do. So the question is, what do we do? Do we try to deter these illegal immigrants from coming? We've heard about deterrence. The administration first said this is why we're doing the zero tolerance policy. Now they've sort of backed off from that. But is that the better solution? I mean, it's kind of a decision that the administration is going to have to make, and Trump is at the head of that decision.
Democrats say swipe of a pen, Trump could change his whole thing, and really he could. He could just say, okay, I'm not gonna zero tolerance can go away for the time being. We can house family units
But
together.
he's not doing it because he's saying, I want Congress to do it. Why? Because he wants to tie it to his immigration policies, his immigration reform, and I think it's working so far. We're seeing that some of the Congress is saying we will concede, we will give some money at least for the border wall.
Legal analyst / political analyst,
Yes,
Anahita Sedaghatfar. Good to see you. Thank you very much.